Indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Shirley, would you call the roll, please?
Williams.
Here.
Ball. Here. Scarrow. Here. Kaczynski.
Here.
Kolonowski.
Here.
Cruz.
Here.
Walker.
Here. Okay, on the meeting agenda for tonight, we have under communications and announcements, item A letter from Nancy Baker, Manistee County Planning Assistant, confirming the May 22nd, 2014 county meeting, which will be held here at the Township Hall. Item B, communication from State of Michigan Public Hearing Notice regarding the Baseline Pipeline LLC to be held on April 17th, 2014. Department and committee reports. Standard. Under the PEG report, we are considering approval of a request from the Public Education Government Commission for annual funding in the amount of $4,700 in support of the Manistee Public Access PEG channel for fiscal year 2014-2015. Also, under the consent agenda, we have three additional items. You should have not attached to the original agenda, and that's item H, which is approval of the purchase of a new computer for the Township Clerk from Jack Pine at a cost of $889. Item I is I'm sorry, excuse me, I'm jumping agenda to consent agenda. Disregard that. The last report is the sewer project report, and then under new business, we have item A, consideration of approval to transfer $54,967 from the Fire Maintenance Protection Fund to the general fund of the township to pay back the SCBA purchase loan, and that leaves a balance in the Fire Maintenance Protection Fund of $14,960.09 as of February 28, 2014. Item B under new business is consideration of approval of signers for PNC Bank, National Association, Shelby State Bank, Northwestern Bank, and the M-Bank accounts of the Charter Township of Filer, invalidating all previous signatures on these accounts. And item C under new business is opening of the seal brush collection bids. Any comments, questions, or additions to the meeting agenda? If not, I would entertain a motion for approval.
I so move.
I'll second that.
Motion by Cruz, second by Skira to approve the meeting agenda. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Consideration of approval of the consent agenda. Item A, you have in your packet the minutes from the rescheduled board meeting held March 5th, 2014. We have the financial report. Item C, we have approval of the Township General Fund expenditures, including the Fire Department. Checks 31047 through 31134. Accounts payable $33,378.17. Payroll was $13,048.71 for a total of $46,426.88. Item D is approval of the Water Department expenditure checks 1985 through 1993, totaling $13,060.32. Item E is approval for our planners and zoning administrator to attend the MSU Extension Firewise zoning workshop on March 31st in Manistee at a cost of $55 each. Item F is approval of budget amendments for fiscal year 2014. One is general fund, transfer $500 from contingency fund to Parks and Recreation Professional Services. Item 2 is under water fund, transfer of $7,000 from fund balance to transfer out. Item G is approval for planners and the zoning administrator to attend the MSU Extension 2014 Master Citizen Planner webinar series offered on various dates in the year, the months April through December of 2014 at a cost of $10 to $20 per session. And now on additions to the consent agenda is item H, approval of the purchase of a new computer for the Township Clerk from Jack Pine at the cost of $889. Item I, approval for zoning administrator and planners to attend the Northwest Michigan Council of Governments Placemaking and Quality Communities for an Aging Society workshop on April 22nd in Beulah at a cost of $55 each. And item J is approval for the Township Clerk to attend the Michigan Association of Municipal Clerks annual conference to be held in Grand Rapids during the month of June for a cost of $300 plus accommodations. Any questions or additions, other additions to the consent agenda? Entertain a motion for approval.
I so move. Second.
Motion by Cruz, second by Kalinowski to approve the consent agenda. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Okay, under our communications and announcements, any questions or comments there? Okay, public comment? Any public comment at this time? Okay, moving on to department and committee reports. In your package you have the monthly Wade-Trum water report. And item B, Ron is not here. Jim,
Could we just talk a minute
Sure.
about the water lines and
Yeah,
tell
sure.
everybody what you told me today? So
Oh,
maybe
okay.
they can hear it on
Sure.
camera.
Good, yeah, good idea. There's some question evidently about how long the run water order is going to remain on. In talking with Charlie about that last week, we intend to leave that run water order on as long as the city's run water order is on. We don't know how long that's going to be, obviously, with Mother Nature, the way she's acting lately, but until the city removes theirs, we're going to leave ours on. The cost of our water is so minimal compared to the cost of the repairs that we've done this winter. So at this point in time, the run water order will continue. When we do lift that order, I will do like I did last time, go through Jim and get it out to those people who have are accessed by emergency messaging and also on TV 9 and 10, 4 and 7, get it on the radio. So it will be out there, it will be publicized, but people can watch also the newspaper for the city to lift their run water order, and we'll follow suit. Okay, Jim, do you have anything you want to add to Ron's fire department?
Just that I was reported we had a total of 12 runs a month, 9 medicals, 3 auto crashes. We're We just had our Polaris in for service for the annual service on that. We got it back. It's all set for summer. Logan and I are working on getting the new brush truck set up, new skid unit to get put in the back for getting ready for brush season. And just a note there at the bottom there, where it said this past weekend or so, there was about 10 of us that went to the Winterfest up at the casino. All totaling, they logged about 200 hours of training amongst those 10 people or so. And they donated all those hours for the fire department paid for the classes and the credits, but the people there donated all of their time to that, continuing that. Also, Ron asked me to ask the board for permission or for approval to hire one additional individual, Matthew Thompson. He's a young man who graduated from Ferris State University. He's firefighter 1 and 2 trained. He's also an EMT basic trained. He's currently working for Life Ambulance in Scottsville. And in this past month, we've lost 2 people, so we're looking to approval to hire Matt to come on board with us. He's already fully trained, and again, it would be pending his physical and drug screening and the normal things that we would do for pre-employment.
What was his last name?
Thompson. He's a local kid. His parents live out on Cherry.
Thompson.
Thompson, yes.
Matthew, regular.
Yes, Matthew, yep.
But he's living in Scottsville?
No, he's living here at home
Okay.
with his parents, but he works for Life EMS, which is right on the corner of 31 and where you turn to go to Scotland. So he's got experience with EMS, and he's also he worked for the Big Rapids Fire Department while he was going to school down there, so he's got experience. So it'd be a good addition to our department.
And all his training and everything is up to date?
Yes. All current.
This brings you up to date, though. Will you be one short yet?
It'll put us at around 25.
So he will be hired as firefighter EMT?
Yes.
Firefighter, is there a
EMS.
number?
Pardon me?
Firefighter 1, 2, 3?
1, 2.
What?
It's just firefighter and an EMT.
You mentioned you've lost 2. Who did you lose?
Kevin resigned last month, and Wayne Lindeman,
Oh, okay.
the gentleman we just hired, got called back to Stronach. He's now the new chief in Stronach Township, so he felt that it would not behoove him to try to do both.
Anyone else have any questions or concerns?
I'll make the motion we hire the young man.
I'll second.
Motion by Cruz, seconded by Kolonowski to add Matt Thompson to the role of the fire department. Any further discussion? Jim, I've got one concern, and that it doesn't relate to Matt, but just in terms of a general comment. Firefighters that we have, I know I talked with Ron a week or 2 ago about one individual that when I saw his address being Lake Ann, I believe that was Mr. Bates. And my concern is how many runs do they help out on? How much do they contribute to the department versus the cost that goes into their training, equipment, upgrades, and all that sort of thing. You know, that's a concern that I have. Go ahead.
Mr. Bates is the sergeant at the Little River Band of Ottawa Police Department, Safety. He does work in town. Currently, he is on leave of absence due to an injury that he sustained at work, or at home, I mean, and so he's been off for the last 3 or 4 months.
Okay.
So
Leave of absence from the...
he's a leave of absence from our department and the FIST team and also for the police department. So. But to answer your question, is yes, he does live in Lake Ann, but he spends a good majority of his time in town. So he does respond from
Has he been able to attend a number of runs over the, how long?
Well, yes, before he went off, yes, he came to some runs and meetings and trainings and that type of thing. So.
Anyone else? Okay. Motion on the floor to add Matt Thompson to the roster. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried.
Thank you.
You have in your packets the...
Can I ask?
Yes.
How's the air tanks? Are they all updated, or should we look to maybe in the future to get new ones? Or
The SCBA models?
Yeah, bottles.
They're still in good shape. There's a few of them that we have to send out for hydro testing this year. Later in the year, they have to go out. So they're good for 5 years on the testing portion of that, so they're all current at the good time. But we don't have to purchase any new ones for a while.
Are those, I don't recall, 1 year or 2 years?
What's that, on the tanks?
Yeah.
Those are 5 years on the tank for hydro testing.
But how old are they?
No, how old are they? Are we talking the SCBA's or are we talking something different?
We're talking about SCBA air tanks,
Yeah.
not the packs themselves, but the tanks.
Okay.
Okay. The air packs are fine. They get tested every year. Company comes in and does a flow test on those every single year for safety purposes and myology requirements. The tanks that go on the back that have the air, the breathing air in them, those are they get hydro tested every 5 years, and they're good for 15 years. And then they're basically after 15 years, their useful life is gone.
Okay, and how old are they right now?
I want to say 3 or 4 years.
We have our new ones.
Yeah, we have some. Well, we bought 10 new ones also just a few years ago, so they're just a couple of years old. So we have at least 10, 12 years left on the lifespan.
And then the SCBA's, those are 1 year or 2 years old?
I want to say 2 years old. Okay.
Okay, you have the report from the zoning administrator in your packets. And you can see the activity there. You have the minutes from the planning commission meeting, March 18th. Shirley, is there anything you want to add?
No.
On that? Okay. Building and Grounds Committee met last Monday and talked about a number of things. If we ever get rid of the snow, we need to attend to the well at Green Creek. Needs some repair, as do the broken grills in the park out there. There are several that need to be replaced or repaired. The rec center roof, we had a patch job done on that this winter because it was leaking, and so we need to take a look at that. I have been in contact with Freeland's Roofing, and they will be giving us an estimate, and we'll be looking at getting some other estimates on that as well, but that needs to be taken care of. Probably as soon as we can get it done this spring. And then the last item from Building and Grounds, we had 2 bids. We received 2 bids for pest Control Pest Spraying, one from Just Green, who we used last year, and one from Action Pest Control. And the Building and Grounds Committee recommended going with Just Green at a total cost of $550, which was less than Action's bid. So that's all I have right now. Ed, probably forgetting something.
Yeah.
Fill me in.
What is that pet commission gonna do for us for selling?
Oh, yeah, we did talk about that.
Can't you hear again?
No.
What we talked about was the audio of the broadcast on
I thought we were cleaning
We had a speaker, if I remember, like once in the center of the floor, and that seemed to help quite a bit.
Are you talking about committee meetings?
You're talking about this meeting?
no, for the board meetings that are broadcast and that sort of thing.
You're having a hard time hearing?
Not me, I get a lot of complaints.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Don't you know how to turn it up?
What?
You can't turn it up on the TV? I mean, the whole station is lower in volume than any of the other stations, and that's because it's charter. And I've talked to them many times about it, but it doesn't seem to do any good. So all you have to do is turn the TV out.
The channel's a lot quieter than the regular.
Yeah, and that's charter. I mean, I can bring another microphone to make you happy, but like I said, it's charter that keeps the volume level low.
I know in our discussions, we talked about one meeting, and this goes back some time ago. I believe those tables were a little bit closer, and there was like a remote mic attached with a wire to the camera that was placed on the tables. In that one, that meeting, it seemed to pick up the sound a lot better from board members.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'll bring a couple mics and we'll try it, see if it helps.
We talked about there was one maybe placed out in the center of the U that would pick up everybody all the way around.
I used to put one over there on the podium.
But we can move the desk farther up this.
Well, people claim they can hear when somebody's talking from that side.
Yeah, it comes out pretty clear from the podium.
Oh, well, I'll bring a mic next month.
Okay,
Okay.
that'd be
Sounds
great.
good.
Appreciate it, thank you. Anything else, Ed?
We're waiting for a lot of stuff. We're doing
Yeah.
It's really holding us up.
Okay, the only thing that I would like to take action on tonight is approval for the contract with Just Green for our pest control for the upcoming year.
I'll make the motion.
I'll support it.
Motion by Williams, support by Kaczynski to accept the bid of $550 for insect spraying from Just Green for the upcoming season. Any further discussion or questions on that?
For the Township Hall Fire Department Rec Center.
Yes, for the Township Hall, Fire Department, and the Rec Center, same as they did last year. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Personnel Committee did not meet, but will be meeting again on May 1st. Board of Review, you've got the minutes from the Board of Review meeting. There were, I believe, 29 petitions that were heard at the Board of Review this round. And under PEG, we have a request there that we need to take action on. Dean, do you have anything you want to?
Yeah, last year we gave them $4,500, and we had cut that back last year. And this year they want $200 more, and we cut to $4,700. So,
That commission on that.
yeah. So we're looking at a total of $200 increase. So it would give us 47. So instead of 4,500 would be 4,700. I recommend we do it.
Are you making that?
I'll make the motion.
Okay. I'll second that motion. Any discussion? Shirley, do you want to call the roll, please?
Paul, yes. Williams,
Yes.
Kalinowski,
Yes.
Walker,
Yes.
Lachinsky,
Yes.
Spivak,
Yes.
Ruth,
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Okay, item I is sewer project report. The ad hoc sewer committee met Monday yesterday with Brian Sousa and had a rather lengthy discussion. The culmination of that was to take a look at getting back to the city in the attempt to renegotiate those contracts. We've got some of the facts and figures in. Brian is continuing to work on looking at that in terms of building our own sewer system, but we felt rather than spend more time, if we get to the point where, and there's been a lot of discussion about going back to the city to renegotiate. There's been a lot of articles in the newspaper concerning some of the decreased flow to the city and their needs to expand. There has been some conversation between individual board members and city council members about that. So basically, we decided that in the interest of time, we would start pursuing that while we continue to work in the other direction. And so that was what came out of the meeting last night. We felt that it might be a good idea at this point in time to go back and sit down and revisit those contracts with the city. So, and Dean, you attended that meeting last night. Anything you want to add to that?
Basically, we looked at a lot of numbers. We looked at the city. We looked at stuff that's been happening on the sidelines, talking to different people. And so we came up with the idea that we should go ahead and reopen negotiations on that contract with the city if we can.
And the DDA did pass a motion, they're meeting tonight too, to bring to the board to recommend that we work together in that capacity.
So I'm going to make a motion that we go ahead with that and open up the contract with the city. And let's see what happens.
I'll support that.
Motion by Cruz, second by Lachinsky to start the process of communicating with the city, a desire to sit down and revisit those contracts. Any discussion? All in favor? Signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Under new business, item A, we have consideration of approval for transfer of $54,967 from the Fire Maintenance Protection Fund to the general fund of the township to pay back the SCBA purchase loan, leaving a balance in the Fire Maintenance Protection Fund of $14,960.09 as of February 28, 2014. I will make a motion that we approve that transfer.
I'll second it.
Motion by Walker, second by Scarra, to approve the transfer of $54,967 from the Fire Maintenance Protection Fund to the general fund of the township. Discussion?
Does that pay off the balance then? Is that won't pay off in full?
I believe it is. Is that
Yes,
correct?
well,
Yeah. Yeah.
And that pays the whole thing off.
Yes,
What was the original amount of that home?
that was the original.
That was the
amount.
original amount?
Yeah.
Any other discussion, questions? Shirley, would you call the roll, please?
Cruz,
Yes.
Paul, yes. Wojciechowski,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes,
Scarra,
Yes.
Kalinovsky,
Yes.
Walker,
Yes. Item B is consideration of approval of signers for PNC Bank, National Association, Shelby State Bank, Northwestern Bank, and M-Bank accounts. So the filer, Township, is validating all previous signatures on these accounts, and that will put, help me out with Karen
All right.
Pomeroy's name on those accounts, which needs to be done. So I would entertain a motion to that effect.
all right, I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
Motion by Williams, second by Wall, to approve the signers for our banks that we work with, invalidating previous signatures on those accounts. You want to do a roll call on that, sure?
Lisa,
Yes.
Kalinovsky,
Yes.
Williams, Walker,
Yes.
Cruz,
Yeah.
Paul, yes. Scarra,
Yes.
Wojciechowski,
Okay, the last item under new business is opening of sealed brush collection bids. And we received one bid on March 19th. And that is from Carl's Excavating. And this bid is for gas-powered blowers used in cleanup at the rate of $3.50 per hour. Item 2 on the bid is use of the pickup with signage to place between the chipper and traffic at $20 per hour. Item 3, 14 cubic yard covered dump truck at $40 per hour. Item 4, a 20-inch chipper with self-loading grapple at $42 per hour. And number 5, 2 operators, labor at $24 each, for a total of $48 per hour for labor. And he says we will keep clean all load-up areas and roadways when done chipping. We will notify Township of all abnormal-sized brush piles and debris, and we'll keep track of all items per hour and invoice accordingly. And we have his certificate of liability insurance attached also. Any questions or discussion on that?
Last year when we did that, we took some of them chips out to the Gould Creek and used them out there.
Right.
And I'm sure the boys would haul a load or two out there for us to lay down. I think
Yeah.
we should probably decide on a building ground where you want it. If you want it.
Yeah, I believe
We can do
the
that.
pathways up there could probably use some new chips.
We pay a pickup for signage on? What was it? Did we have that?
Yeah, pick up with signage that's going to be placed between the chipper and the traffic at $20 per hour. That, we had that last year, as I recall.
Did we?
Yeah. I don't know how these hourly rates compare to last year. I don't recall. I'd have to look at what we had from last year. But I think it sounds pretty comparable to what we paid last year. Is that right, Del?
I think it's pretty close.
Yeah.
I'll make the motion that we go ahead.
I'll second it.
A motion by Cruz, second by Scarrett to accept the bid for our brush cleanup from Carl's Excavating Incorporated. Any further discussion?
We gotta wait for the weather.
One thing I didn't see snow shovels on there.
Yeah. Snow shovels,
No, Lord.
front end loaders. And
The dates will be flexible then, in other
The
words.
dates are flexible.
You can't say May 1st, I don't think.
No.
Sure, if you want to do a roll call on that, or?
June.
Want roll call?
Yeah, might as well. Good year. Hefty amount.
Yep. Kalinowski,
Yes.
Wojciechowski,
Yes.
Ball, yes, Walker,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Scarrow,
Yes.
Cruz.
Yes.
Public comment. Any public comment at this time? Tim, Dallas? Okay. I'll entertain a motion again.
There's one more item that I can't remember.
That's the table at that end.
Yeah, we'll go, I'll go around the table, maybe you'll think of it.
Don't we have to,
I just wanted, did you want me to say anything about that veterans issue that we discussed the other day?
I guess it's up to you.
I'd like to know,
I did, I don't know if it was before or after I spoke with you, I think it was after, I did go down to the office, local office, and spoke
Oh, we did?
with the
Okay.
gal there, and I did ask if one of them would be willing to come to our Board of Review meeting in July and just fill us in. Okay. And she was more than willing to do that.
Was she?
I've still not heard, I did contact Ray Franz again yesterday, and still haven't heard back from anybody from his office.
If I'm not mistaken, the piece of paper that you send back to somebody that comes to the Board of Review does tell them what their appeal rights are, as I recall.
I think
Well,
it
he
was
said on the
expressed on
report here tonight,
Right, I know, but the point is that...
or why, right?
Well,
Yeah.
yes. And, but their remedy, we talked about whether we could fix this at the July Board of Review, and Bruce Brown said no. That's not one of the things that we can fix. So they'll have to go to the tax tribunal
Yeah.
to get that squared away, is what their remedy is.
What were you going to fix?
Well, there was if you looked at the Board of Review, there was a number of veterans exemptions claimed, and most of them were denied, and it appears that maybe those were, without saying anything legally binding on the township, might have been not quite correct. But
this, as I expressed,
I don't know how to say that.
as I expressed to Karen, on behalf of the Board of Review, Public Act 161, it's new, it was just enacted last
Right, and nobody really understands how it's working yet, so, yeah.
November, and so there's lots of questions that the Board of Review has concerning that, and naturally, the Board of Review also, on the flip side, is trying to look out for the interests of the township in terms of, substantial tax revenue loss means loss of services within the township, and so that's a concern, and trying to balance those. Certainly don't want to take away any benefits that veterans have coming to them, but just need a little more information, explanation, and I got some of that from her in her office, and she said she would be willing to come to the July Board of Review and discuss that with us.
because I thought part of the program was how much you got from the government and whether you could work. Those are the two.
The Legion and the VFW magazines got good articles on that.
Do they?
The last month before, I think it is.
Well,
Copies?
I looked up the statute has the conditions spelled out very clearly, and, but I wasn't at the board of review, so I don't know what evidence the veterans brought in to meet the statutory requirements or not.
So this is a good way to get somebody to look at it.
Yeah, and part of the problem is, you know, with HIPAA, you can't request, you know, the medical
Yeah, they have to-
records,
right.
and so you're just on, you know, this application, it just says 100% disability.
Right.
And that's all you have to go by, and you know, sometimes it's difficult to make that determination when.
Well, you can't ask them for any of it.
Right.
Because as a veteran, I get and we got a form that they gave us. Township. But I don't think you can come and ask them for that.
Well, you can ask them, they don't have to say yes.
Right.
That's right, yeah.
Well, we
So
don't want to
that's-
get into the thing where, you know, some of the others.
That's where we're at.
Well, we'll just feel our way through that for a year, I'm sure. And my guess is that we're not the only municipality that's running into that.
Well, interestingly, she said there has not been too much in northern Michigan. She said there's been a lot of denials in the Detroit area. I mean, I don't know why. The geography, I don't know. So,
It's called the bankruptcy court.
yeah. That's true. Dean, do you have anything else?
No, I think that's it.
Dale?
No?
Shirley? Ruth?
Yes, at the DDA meeting tonight, it was brought up about a change in the date with the contract for the city. Some of us were under the impression that it was July of this year, but it's actually July of next year, and I didn't know if everybody knew that or not. I just learned that at the
Yeah.
meeting tonight.
I thought it was July of this year. Is it not?
It's
No,
July of 15.
2015. Yeah.
Well, maybe you've got reading room.
Yes. Ed, did it come to you?
No,
The drain,
but,
the drain.
Green.
oh, the great, yeah, well. That was another, I went and looked at it, and I messed up. I asked the guy from the county road commission to call me, and he did call me. And I just found out today that he called me. And,
He called me also, and we talked about
Did he?
it. Yeah.
and I wanted to find out from him, what kind of specs do we really need for something like that? You know,
Yeah.
I'm not familiar with manholes and drains and everything.
Nor am I.
So I thought this guy should have some knowledge to tell me what we're looking for.
And you're talking about the one.
And we looked at the one in front of the fire station.
That's a lake.
Yeah, the question is whether or not, how far removed from Nelson Street is, whether it's going to be, you know, townships, or the county, if it's close enough, you know, if it's in the road right of way or not.
I don't think that's the county, that one.
Well,
You-
Nelson is the primary, but, you know, I don't know how far Nelson that
Well, we can ask for
drain
that.
is. Yeah, he called, he was getting ready to go to a 1 o'clock meeting, so we just had a brief discussion about it. And that reminds me, I also discussed with him the bill for.
The city,
Yeah, with the city for the clean out of the
what did the city
storm
charge?
drain. That bill was 3,000.
About 3,400, I think.
That wasn't bad.
But
No, and
I
I,
didn't-
find out if that's just our portion, or if that's the whole amount.
no, that's
That's
the
the whole
whole, that's
amount.
the whole amount. Yeah, I kept notes when that was going on, the days they worked and the hours they worked, and went back and cross-referenced with the bill, and everything jives. And so the discussion with Mark Solden was, you know, how do we divide this up? Because when I talked with Wayne about it, he was pretty open to doing it anyway, whatever was the easiest way to do it on a percentage basis or, you know, individual
Yeah.
rate. And Mark talked about, you know, 'cause I told him we had a map of where all the drains are. And so he just said to them, why don't you identify the drains that belong to the county, the primary road drains, and the ones in the township, and then we'll divide it up that way, I suppose, on a ratio basis for the total cost.
I'll get a hold of the guy again. call them my, what do you call it, like, box number?
Your mailbox.
And how many new ones did you find?
Do what?
There were around 8 or 10 new ones. Most of them.
But there's another company here doing that again.
B Street.
You know that?
Another company doing what?
Moved in where that other company from Midland left, another company moved here and is doing the same thing.
Okay. Well, the next time we get them done, we'll get a bid from them too. The next time we get them done, we'll get a bid from them as well. But if you recall, the
They're
bid,
gonna be here.
yeah, the bid we got from the city was, you know,
Just like, the only
a
thing
lot
we
better
can
than the
do.
other bid. Yeah. Anything else, Ed? No. Tom? Richard, anything else?
No, I don't think so. If you got a drain though, every road in the township is a county road, so whether it's primary, secondary, there are no township roads. They're all county roads. So if you got a drain in the road right away,
Go to the county,
Pardon?
go to the county.
Well, the county road commission.
Yeah,
Yeah, they're not the, when I say the counties, I mean the county road commission.
Right.
Yeah, there are no such things as township roads anymore. They all disappeared back in the 30s, and they're all,
Yeah, it's interesting, because the discussion I had with Wayne, I can't remember his name, the interim fellow, and I don't remember if I had discussions with Jerry Peterson when we first started looking at this. You know, it was the county that paid for the drains on the primary roads.
but we're still cleaning all the drains.
Pardon? There were some that we own, supposedly, and
So
some that the
drains?
county, the dry wells.
oh, okay. Yes, you may have put some of the dry wells in, but the roads themselves are
Right.
county roads.
Yeah.
Yeah, right, yeah.
So we know it ain't gonna really.
If they're talking about dry wells.
Okay, okay. But I thought the question was, is it in the road or is it not in the road?
Somewhere right in the center of the road.
Yeah.
Well, the question was the ones by Firewall, whether it's actually in the road right away or it's in the parking lot or the driveway of the hall.
Fire department, okay.
Right, that one drain, so that was the only one question. Okay, if there's nothing else, I declare this meeting adjourned.
By the way, we should start to install the new meters.
State, you write down the numbers you want for the bid. I mean, it has to have a bid.
Yeah, but this was
I understand what you're saying.
In fact,
It's the same.
I think the original people that put it on there, they were elderly and they're not even alive. And I said, but there isn't, you know, it's been